Greetings, metal beds, and welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Mayhem record. It's called Liturgy of Death. It's released on Century Media Records, and it's coming out on the 6th of February. For black metal fans, enjoy. As we all know, Mayhem are one of the godfathers of Norwegian black metal, originally formed in Oslo back in 1984, known as the pioneers of Norwegian black metal. This band was originally formed by guitarist Destructor, who changed his name to Anonymous, along with longtime bassist Necrobutcher and drummer Kojeto Mayhem. So that would be the original lineup for the band Mayhem. Back in the band's early stages, the main influences were Black Sabbath, Motorhead, and also Venom, along with Slayer, Bathory, and also Celtic Frost. In later times, the band would find vocalist Pierre, who was also known as Dead, along with drummer Jan, who was also known as drummer Hellhammer. Now, these guys in Mayhem have influenced so many bands throughout the world in the black metal scene. And as Venom are the godfathers of black metal, the same could be said for the Norwegian godfathers, Mayhem. Now, the band released their first release. This was called Death Crusher, which was limited to only 1,000 copies. It did extremely well within the underground black metal scene. This successful record was re-released on a label called Death Strike Silence Productions, released through Anonymous's own record label called LVT. In 1994, the band released their debut album. This was called The Mysteriis Dom Sathanas. This was the debut album, Sathanas. With the success of this record, it wasn't long before the band released their next album in 2000. With the success of this album, it took several years before the band released their next album in 2000. And this was called The Grand Declaration of War, released on the label Seasons of the Mist. In 2004, the band released their next album. This was called Chimera. And 4 more albums would follow. The band's last album prior to the new album was called Demon. This was released in 2019, also for Century Media Records. So the current band lineup would be longtime bassist and vocalist Necrobutcher, drummer Hellhammer, vocalist Attila Csihar, with guitarists Teloch and Ghul. So that would complete the lineup of Mayhem. Now, folks, I have to be completely brutally honest with you. I've never been a massive fan of black metal. However, I do find this album to be very interesting. For starters, it's got a fantastic production. This is something that a lot of black metal bands have suffered with in the past. However, this album does capture the pure power and essence of real pure black metal from Norway. This album has some really powerful extreme metal music with a really crisp and dark but yet powerful production. Now, this album was produced by Tor, Jenner, and also guitarist Teloch, in which both have done an absolute amazing job. The songs really do shine through them, and like I said, it's a really powerful black metal album, as what you can expect from Mayhem. So this album contains 8 tracks, so now I'm going to tell you what the song titles are for this album before we briefly talk about the songs in general. We would open up the album with the song called Ephemeral Entity. Ephemeral Entity with the opening track. This will be followed by Despair, Weep for Nothing, Aeon's End, Funeral for Existence, Realm of Endless Misery, Propitious Death, and the last song will be called The Sentence of Absolution. So that's the song titles. So let's talk about the first song. Now, the opening track has an eerie intro. This is pretty interesting to listen to, but it builds up into a very powerful and dark, yet very brutal black metal song. Vocals on this song are extremely brutal, as you can imagine from a black metal band. This song also has some amazing drumming, especially with the double bass drumming by Hellhammer. Super lightning double bass drumming and blast beats really does make this song a brutal, heavy opening track. Vocals by Attila are totally insane and really do fit the music well. Like I said, this is a very brutal opening track. There's something about black metal music. It always reminds me of punk on speed. And that's exactly what Mayhem's music is. If you're looking for a guitar solo on this song, forget it. There ain't none. This is just pure Mayhem at the best. Next song is called Despair. I really like this song. It's more heavier, more brutal, but it also has some catchy elements. And it also has an operatic kind of vocals, which Attila's done a fantastic job. It's kind of almost the black metal Pavarotti. As we all know, black metal is about brutality, speed. Now, the thing about Mayhem, it's not all about speed. The band do have some slow, eerie parts, which really does break up the band's music. And the next song, Weep Into Nothing, is yet another powerful song with lots of blast beats and double bass drumming, with some dark satanic elements. And yet again, Attila is doing the Pavarotti style black metal. Having this style of vocals really does break up the music and the song. Now, the next song is a song called Weeping for Nothing. This is a really brutal song with lots of blast beat drumming. And like I said, these guys are one of the godfathers, in fact, the godfathers of Norwegian black metal. Next song is a song called Arian's End. This is probably my favourite song on the album. It's still very heavy and brutal, but it's a little bit less speedy as the previous songs I've just spoken about. And if you're a fan of bands like Bathory and Dimmu Borgir, this is a fantastic song for you to check out. This song also kind of reminds me of the first Morbid Angel album, On Speed. Not to mention, folks, this is the first song on the album with a guitar solo, and it's pretty ripping. And it just goes to show that some black metal bands can do some really good guitar solos. So if you want to check out a great guitar solo on this album, check out this song. It's called Arian's End. All in all, this is a pretty good album. Like I said, it's got a fantastic production, some really well thought out songs. All around, like I said, Mayhem are the godfathers of Norwegian black metal. So if you want to check out a great metal album for the beginning of 2026, that's black metal, make sure you buy the new Mayhem album. It's released on Century Media Records. It's called The Liturgy of Death. So make sure you buy this album, folks. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Just for the fact that it's got a fantastic production. That's the first thing. Some interesting songs and some great guitar solos. So black metal fans, rejoice and go buy the new Mayhem. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching.